Good afternoon. I'm Robert Tan. From your wallet to the wider economy, join us as we follow the money. Coffee, anyone? Most of us have a favorite cafe by now. But for the people running them, it's getting crowded out there, and franchising is one way to expand faster. Today's guest kept business mostly in-house. And joining us now is Llamoso, CEO of Tommo. Founded in 2022, Tommo now has 40 branches and counting, 90% of which are company-owned. Good afternoon, Ryan. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Robert.
Now,
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us this afternoon, Ryan. Now, let's start with this, Ryan. Tell us a little bit about Tommo, how you started it, and why a coffee shop?
Well, Tommo started during the pandemic, during the lockdown, and we saw the gap in the market because back then, during pandemic, some shops closed down, and a lot of people just stay at home isolated. And what we saw is that they are looking for a cafe, a place to meet friends, and we started just in a neighborhood street. So basically, Tommo is word in Japanese called companion.
Okay.
And so during the
pandemic,
a lot of people are looking for a companion, right?
So coffee is one of them. But starting it during a time when everyone was struggling, a lot of businesses were struggling. How was your first year of operations, and how did you handle a lot of the hurdles that you came across?
So first year is very tough, I would say. And no one from the team, from the founding team, has a background in F&B. So the background is in prop tech, in technology and real estate. And when we started the F&B business, that's the only time that, we had an experience of wastages, spoilages, and even filterages. Like, people who operate the store, right, will steal from you.
But right now, you have 40 branches, and you mentioned 90% are company-owned, 10% are franchises. But when you look at this kind of business, a lot of founders wanted to do it fast. So talagang they go the franchise way. For you, why did you really not embrace that path first and kept it in?
Yeah,
in the company?
we saw that too. We saw that too, and we were thinking of franchising during the first year. But then I guess because we are inexperienced, we don't have the expertise, right, to operate a store. We kind of like try to learn it first. And so what we did is that we built a one store up to, back then, tens. And then we started from there. And what we have found out is that when you try to operate your own store, you would know how to teach it to other people. And so the model of franchising for Tomo Coffee now is territorial, meaning you get to choose a territory, and then you expand how we expand. Meaning you don't just stop with one store, but you try to expand it with multiple stores so that you become a chain.
So you're very, very strict when it comes to franchising it out, and when you do it on your own. What kind of strict measures do you tell your franchisors who want to put up a coffee shop in their area? And you said it's territorial.
Correct, it's territorial. So one thing that we ask our franchisees that, are you willing to do this full time? Because you need to be an operator. Because if we just look for a franchise, there's a lot of people who has money, right, to put it into a franchise. But some franchisees thought that franchising is just an investment. For us, it's going to be a business of this franchisee.
Yeah, so I've seen that in a lot of the franchise business. They grow too fast, but then yung quality control nasisira.
Correct.
And they can't really control it, and that destroys the brand. Is that one thing that you saw coming in to this business? It's a very crowded market.
To be honest, that's not what we saw. But I think it's also fortunate for us that we didn't do that in the beginning, no? Kasi yun nga, right now all the things are moving fast in this market. So before, we didn't know that we have seasonality. For example, during June and July, like right now, it's rainy season. Your business is down, retail is down, and even when the oil spike increase yung Middle East crisis, right, happened, everything went down. But one thing that we have, I would say it's our strength, right, to adapt to certain changes.
So parang learning by doing. In the
Yes.
beginning, did you do a lot of research? Did you do a lot of business intelligence? Diba yung ginagawa niya na
Correct.
you look at your competitors, where they are, what they're doing, and how you can, make let's say, a better mousetrap, right?
Correct.
How to add value to what's out there. So what did you see
Yeah.
coming in that made
Well-
you think this could be a very good venture for you?
In terms of competition, we try to discuss it, but I would say only 10% of the time. No, we really try to focus on our strength. No, because I guess for the competitors who are, I'm not gonna name a few, but there are a couple of competitors
Yeah.
who are also in the same area as us, but they were looking at each other's market. Like for
Yeah.
example, oh, there's a new Tomo Coffee there. How are they doing? And how are we going to adapt? For us, competition is natural. And
It
actually,
breeds innovation, right?
yes, it breeds innovation. It's healthy because a lot of people will look into alternatives, right? And you have to be better. You need to make sure your quality is there.
But I'm just curious, when you went into this venture, we were discussing before the show, you said this wasn't really your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
You were doing more tech and real estate before doing this. So what made you go into the coffee business without having the real, knowledge of doing this kind of business? Iba yung,
right.
yung rental properties, dormitory, and technology.
To be honest, sir,
But what were the learnings there?
in tech and in real estate, it's very easy. Why? In tech, you just have to build a product, right? And then, go to go do your research. And there's a thing called go-to market, meaning when you have a client, just make
Be the
sure
first
that
one.
yes, correct. Correct.
Yes.
Be the first one, and then try to make sure that you have a product market fit with those clients that you have, right? Because you already have the product.
But
with
some
you.
would argue technology and real estate is a harder business to do.
But
Sa'yo, hindi?
Hindi. Kasi real estate is a passive, business. Meaning if you get, let's say you're doing a rental, because I came from rental industry, right? So when you have a client already, it's gonna be a recurring business.
Yes.
So a lot of investors, a lot of people are looking into that kind of business model. In the food industry, you don't know which customer you will welcome the next day, right?
Yes, iba-iba
Is it-
yan in
correct.
different locations. But did it help being in real estate? Because one of the things that they say in business, number one is location. So how much of that real estate knowledge help you in running Tommo and looking at the key areas where you can put your
It's everything.
your shops?
It's everything. How much? I guess 90% of the
90%.
success in retail is, you're correct, location. It's
Mm-hmm.
hard to, market a retail business if your location is wrong. You're gonna burn a lot of cash, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just to market, promote it.
Operation. Of course,
Yes.
lalo na if it's company owned.
Correct.
Oh.
But if the location is a natural foot traffic, that's the beauty about pandemic, right? We reset our economy. And so
Oh.
there's a lot of closed shop. And so when we entered the market 2022, we saw a potential to put up the
So
coffee
you saw the
stores.
opportunity. For you, the pandemic was kind of like a aha moment for you.
Yes, correct.
That we can I
Enter.
can use the knowledge that I have in real estate, because a lot of people have closed shops and put all these coffee shops there.
Correct.
But
And-
how was it in the beginning? Because nobody can go to the shop, so it's basically more people ordering online.
Yes. That's where we started. When we put up our first store, we sell it to Facebook marketplaces, the Facebook groups, right? And also we put up our own e-commerce site. So what we did is we do door to door. So they will order on us via online. Sometimes I answer also the messages, even on midnight. And you would be surprised that a lot of the deliveries happen during the evening.
Really? More coffee or yung mga ibang
Coffee.
klaseng drink?
Coffee. The Gen Zs are awake
Awake?
during the evening.
Ang mga
What-
BPO sector, of course.
apart from that, but
Apart from that.
you would also ask, what are they doing during those midnight? And then when we asked, they were playing games. During the pandemic, right? There's a lot of games,
So yun
online
yung companion nila, yung
Yes.
coffee.
Coffee
Keep them
became-
awake. Oh, kasi
keep them
talagang, pag talagang wired in ng mga gamers ngayon, they can go
Correct.
for hours.
Correct.
But you went through the pandemic. You saw
Yes.
the opportunity, hindi naging hadlang. Now, this year, we went through another crisis. A lot of the prices went up. Did that affect your business, the prices? Did you have to change your strategy, the prices? No, of course, yung mga raw materials.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Actually, I saw a blog post that we are in an oil pandemic, and that made me realize this is very same with how we had encountered in the past. It's just that, we're not in a lockdown, right?
Yes.
So the economy is still going on.
So ano yung opportunity nakita mo dito that others didn't see?
Actually, the strategy is the same. You have to adapt. I cannot say the specifics, but we have to adapt in a way that the brand needs to be competitive. We have to be activating all other channels, not just on our retail, but also looking at e-commerce.
Like, what did you do that others who had to close shop? Because we know during the crisis, there were a lot of even some coffee shops had to close down. What did you do that was different that kept you open and
Kept us going.
also keeping the profit?
Correct. Like what I mentioned, right? We're trying to look at into other revenue streams, into other channels, like for example, e-commerce. But in terms of our retail business, we're very particular with our profitability, the store profitability. So we want to make sure that each store is
Yes.
sustainable, and so we try to partner with other brands. So for example, we have other stores that kind of like affected because of the foot traffic
Like what brands?
decrease.
Ano mga collaborations?
Yeah, we're just because when you go to our shop, you would see, for example, there's a pandesal there, and we're partnering with Balay Pandesal.
Okay.
So those are the kind of partnerships that we're looking at. Because before we're just selling coffee,
Oh.
but we're
Kasi usually
sustainable.
Parang kasi sila rin minsan they sell coffee also, so you might think they're competition. So these kinds of collaborations, you
Complements
think
us.
complements you, complements them, a healthy competition, and like you said, competition breeds innovation. So is this the kind of innovation you saw?
Yes.
Collaboration, not seeing them as competition.
Correct. So imagine a customer walks into our shop. Instead of just buying coffee, they buy
Pandesal.
coffee and pandesal, diba? So that increases the basket size for one customer.
Yes,
And I
oo.
think for Balay, they would like it because it's asset light for them. They don't have to, build out a new store.
But in terms of pricing, how are you compared to your competitors? Who do you see without mentioning
Any names.
how do you manage the pricing to make sure it's not too high, not too low, so that you still keep your margins and keep some profit to keep your operations going? And of course, the kind of market, who is really your target market when you open Tommo?
When we opened Tommo, our niche market is actually the students. So we've populated the majority of the big universities in Metro Manila. And right now, we're going provincial because we see a lot of demand, right, in the provinces. So when you put up a Manila brand, for example, in Cavite area, a lot of people flock into that brand because they see that, that brand is a brand chosen by Lasallians, Ateneans, right? So
But how do you keep it from just becoming a trend that, it's good now, but then it just slowly fades away?
Yeah, that's a good question because in every retail, in every F&B, right, there's what we call maturity.
Yes.
And maturity is actually what we're trying to, I would say, track and monitor. And so what we do is that we keep our products, let's say, aside from keeping your products at quality, you have to make sure that you have new drinks to
Yes.
offer. You have new flavors, right?
Ayun.
So we recently launched ube.
But before you answer that, before we go to a lot of the variations of the coffee that you have at Tommo, we'll just take a quick break. Keep following the money. Welcome back to Follow the Money. Still with us is Tommo CEO Ryan Llamoso. Now, Ryan, before the break, we were talking about what kind of variations in terms of product lines do you have with Tommo to keep keep up with the trends and just keep people coming into your store. So, how do you look at that when you talk to the customers? Do you have a lot of conversations with the customers in terms of what they want, what they like, and also the trends that's happening online?
Well, the good thing about our product, before I mention about the varieties that we have, the good thing about coffee, it's habitual, right? So you drink your coffee every day. And sometimes, like you yourself, sir, you mentioned you're drinking it
2 to
maximum.
3.
Yeah, and sometimes 4, right?
Yes.
So our customers too, we've seen that habit, or I would say that kind of consistency that they have. If they like your product, they're gonna buy it every day. And so, in terms of our variety, we're following the trends on social media. Like, for example, the global trends right now is in ube.
Oh, yeah,
And I'm
ube.
very-
It's a very,
We should be proud of that.
Filipino talaga
Correct.
pag sinabi mong ube.
Correct.
Oh.
And so we need to be, because we have competitors that are international. Like, for example, Starbucks, you mentioned that. I'm not gonna name the other competitors, but we have to make sure that our flavor,
Yes.
our ube, is better than them. Because we're proud local. And we
Yes.
should be, right?
Yes. Oh, pag sinabi mo kasi ube, typical, it's a Filipino product. Di ba? You see it, yung mga different kinds. You have puto, mga
Correct.
ganon, yung mga...
Cakes,
cakes. Ngayon, ice cream,
Yes.
and now coffee. So how do you incorporate it now with coffee? And how are you making it different from the others who are also, doing this trend in their coffee shops?
So for us, our top of mind is that we have to make sure that it's same with the palate of our customer in terms of the familiarity that they have. So if we are familiar with 3-in-1 coffee because we were bombarded. I started drinking 3-in-1 when I was in high school.
But
so
as
I
you get
know
older,
Nescafe.
kasi it's very sugary,
Yeah,
no?
but-
so people are looking for different kinds
But
of
you still
taste.
kind of like in
Look for it.
Yeah, look for it from time to time, right?
yes.
So we kind of like try to make sure that we don't deviate away from what we have known or what's familiar with the taste of the Filipino.
But in a saturated market like this, the coffee industry, there's, every corner, there's a coffee shop that you see, even the fast food chains have coffee.
Correct.
Now, what makes a customer loyal and keep coming back to your coffee shop?
I guess it's a brand. And that's the reason why we didn't franchise first. The main idea for Tomo Coffee is to make sure that we control the brand of the business.
And the vision.
And the vision. Because when you put in other people who is, let's say they own the shop, right? And when you don't have any systems in place, let's say you give them the freedom and the liberty to do whatever they want, one way or another, it's going to affect your brand. Because they were already dictating how the brand would
Yes.
look like, how it will be felt
Yes.
by the customer. So for us, we're training these partners, we call them partners and territorial franchisees. We're training them how a Tomo Coffee store should be operated.
How do you capture the different generations and now the younger generation, the Gen Zs, the Gen Alphas, into the coffee space? How different is it when you market to them, and what's the focus? Are you really focusing on the younger generation, the Gen Zs, the millennials, or andyan pa rin yung mga Gen X, mga boomers who still like their cup of coffee?
Our Gen X and our boomers right now are more of like our partners, franchisees.
Sila
Oo,
yun.
sila eh. So, in a way, they wanted to be, in the space where it's exciting, right? Because, our market is young generation.
Yeah. So
it's
how do you
Gen Z,
teach
Gen
them, and
Alpha.
also your company-owned shops, to capture the Gen Z, Gen Alpha market? How is it now? What's the communication like? Is it them who's asking now? I've talked to some old company who used the traditional way before.
Yeah.
But traditional commercials, you push
Correct.
the product. Now it's mainly the
Different. It's
power
different.
now is with the younger
The
generation.
consumer, right?
Yeah.
So-
So how do you handle that?
In our marketing team, right, we work with a lot of micro-influencers. or micro, and I would say there's also what they call nano influencer. So the tiniest influencer, right? They only have, for example, 100 following. But these followers are very loyal to them.
Yes.
You know,
oo.
and macro influencers are kind of expensive, right? So you get
But sometimes really
celebrities.
it's, you have, sometimes you see influencers with 10 million followers, but usually mga nanonood lang, minsan mga 5,000, 10,000. But when you get the smaller, really focused types of influencers who may have 1,000, 5,000, but
They have conversion.
yeah, they have conversion and even more views than the followers that they have.
Correct.
So
So-
is that what you're tapping right now?
Well, our strategy is to make sure we're partnering with all this, or more of this micro
Capture all
and
the
nano.
bases.
Correct. Yeah, and they create their own content. So for us, it's a free marketing in a way, right? In exchange of a product, and also they become a partner. They become an affiliate, and that's why we're working
Now,
on.
Ryan, I want to learn a little bit about the story of Tommo. Why you named your coffee shop Tommo, and trying to embrace the Japanese culture and then bring it here in
the Philippines.
Filipino culture.
Correct.
What made you do that? The Tomo Tenashi, the Tomo Mukiji.
Yeah. So my family and I visit Japan every, I guess almost every year, right? And the one thing that we found out in Japan that we observe also is that people are very happy working, whether they're blue collar or they're working in an office, they're very happy. And I guess
Parang tayo.
Parang
With
tayo,
a smile. Well,
But in reality, Japan embraces a culture where you can, they call it ikigai.
okay.
It's their passion and purpose already. And that passion and purpose.
To serve.
Yes,
Mga
to
ganon.
serve. To make money out of them, out of this work, out of this job, right? And so they really value the job. And that's what we try to teach to our employees to make sure that, whatever position you are in the company, right? Whether you're a barista
Yes.
or let's say you're the one running the company, you're the
Yeah.
CEO, right?
True.
You have to embrace ikigai. And you have to be, embracing the culture of the Japanese people, wherein they're very happy whatever kind of outcome you have.
Just very quick, what did you learn about running a coffee shop that you only learned by doing without, doing the initial research, things that you just learned along the way, and the kind of mindset that you have to bring
Yeah.
into really prospering in this industry?
I guess when we started, I have zero knowledge about F&B, as in zero. And I
And
don't
now,
know.
ilang percent na?
I would say 50%. Still learning, sir. But right now, I would say running a coffee chain, especially in this type of landscape, right? Very competitive, and the margins are very thin.
Was there a time you thought, I'll just give up, go back to rental?
A lot of time. A lot of time. A lot
But
of
what keeps
time.
you going?
The people.
The
I guess
people.
the people, right? The people that I work
the
with.
Tomo, mindset, right?
Yeah, I have one wife before, and now I have like multiple wives. But I mean, the people that I work with, like the managers,
Baka
right?
iba yung marinig
No,
nila
I mean,
dito.
I'm sorry for the term, but I kind of like the
So
relationship
the
with them is
family
very.
has grown.
Yes,
so it's
the
like
family
a
has
family.
grown, correct. The family
Okay,
has grown.
Ryan, let's now move towards our rapid fire segment of this program. Just quick questions, quick answers. Let's start with this: espresso or drip? Hindi
Espresso.
depends. Espresso.
Espresso.
Why?
Stronger.
Okay, you like this bawik?
Yes.
Okay. Which business taught you more about yourself, real estate or coffee?
Coffee.
Really?
Yes, definitely.
And you
It's
say-
harder. It's harder.
Because
more
it's not your
difficult.
wheelhouse. You had to learn a lot.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
Now, one word for the Philippine cafe scene today.
Please don't follow the hype. Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
There's a lot of hype. Like, for example, have you seen the one with the cake on top of let's
the
say,
coffee?
The coffee. Everybody
Talaga?
did that, except for the chains because
Parang
it's
trends.
trends
Does
come and
that
go.
happen now? Okay.
But the thing is, sometimes it's also affect your brand because
Tama.
if
Parang
you keep
gimmicky ka lang.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, ube, craze or classic? And do you think it'll stay?
it will stay.
It'll stay?
It will stay.
Is
As a
it some-
Filipino flavor.
Is it something you think that will be staple in your coffee shop and you build?
We did
And
it already.
proud
It's
Filipino?
staple. Yeah,
Okay.
it's staple.
Worst startup advice that you were given?
Worst.
What was the
ah.
worst?
It's hard, but maybe don't ever listen to your customer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you have to follow your own
Why would you
intuition.
say that?
You have to follow your own intuition, right? You have to, because customers don't know what they like. They said. Somebody
that was
said
before.
that. That was until, I guess, every
The younger
successful...
generation now know what they like. So I guess tama yun. You have to listen to your customers.
You have to listen to your customers.
Okay, and finally, what's next for Tommo? What's the vision, and how can people find you?
Well, for Tomo Coffee, our vision is to scale it to 150 stores nationwide. And we're looking for...
More owned or...
No, more on franchising.
Franchise na ngayon.
We've exhausted all our capital.
Mahal.
Yeah, correct. It's capital extensive. So right now, we're looking for partners
okay.
in cities like, for example, Cebu, Davao, and in other provinces.
Well, on that note, Ryan, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon and sharing your story. Of course, inspiration of how to build a brand, how to listen more to your customers. Iba na ngayon.
Correct, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
And that's all for today. I'm Robert Tan. Thanks for watching. Keep it here on the Bilyonaryo News Channel, and always follow the money.